Hi everyone. In today's video, I just wanted to do a short one talking about how anyone can make a movie. And I don't want it to turn too negative, but the thing that sparked me to kind of want to talk about this is that I was looking at a forum the other day about something, I can't even remember what, but somebody was talking about like, oh, I think what they were trying to say is they wanted to like be able to dolly, so like move a camera on a dolly at the same time as booming the camera up, right? Like lifting the camera up on a pole. But anyway, the person said something like, I want to be able to move the camera sideways, but at the same time, I want to be able to pan up. And a person replied to this like, oh my God, why are you asking a question like this on a filmmaking forum if you don't already know? Like, if you think you're going to be a professional filmmaker one day, or if you think you're a professional filmmaker now, you're delusional because you don't even know that it should be a tilt up or something, and I was like, and then some people came to the defense of that person, but other people were like, learn about film or don't ask stupid questions. And people were really mean. I've never spent a lot of time on the internet. I just never have. I've never been hugely involved in, forums and online stuff. And I know that there's like trolling and stuff and like toxic people, but it was just really sad because I'm like, this person's like trying to make a movie, like let them make the movie. And so, yeah, so I guess I made a note about it because it kind of affected me a lot. And I find this a lot in the classroom, people can come in to class when they've never made a movie before. I'm talking like 13-year-olds, year 7 kids, and year 12s as well, if you've never made a film. And they're like, oh, I'm not good enough to do that. Oh, I don't know about that. It's like, of course you haven't learned about it, Like if you'd never learned how to write in English, you wouldn't know how to write, you got to be taught explicitly. But like being, I guess, criticized or scrutinized early on is just, it's crazy, and I talk about lots of other things, but yeah, I don't know, I would always try to build the most supportive network of people I could in class, like we would have screenings of films kids had made, and it's like every film got the biggest cheer, every film. It didn't matter what the film was like in the end, because making films is an amazing process. The process of making films is what's magic, learning to express yourself, magic. Who cares if you call it pan up? I want to start calling it pan up just because this guy's missing the whole point. And don't get me wrong, there's kind people in the world and there's unkind people in the world, and that's just how it is. And there's people who know how to be nice and speak to people nicely, and there's people who don't. And there's people who want to cut people down. I think that's what got to me, is this guy was just trying to cut this person down. And I know you have anonymity on the internet, but yeah, it was just, I don't know, it really affected me. So I thought today, I'd just make a quick little video to be like, don't worry if you don't know the terminology. Don't worry if you don't know how to edit or how to shoot or how to hit record. Like the thing I made in Parliament, I've talked about this, in another video. But I mean, I'd made other films, but I remember that in Parliament I did so much. I didn't know how to white balance a camera. Like I barely knew how to white balance when we made our first feature film, there's a lot I didn't know, and you learn as you go. It's like, are you trying to tell a story? Are you trying to express me? Are you trying to have fun? Are you trying to be creative? That's what's important, right? And there's no right or wrong for that. If you're doing something, you're being creative, right? And so, yeah, just don't let naysayers get you down. I guess that's what I want to say. Don't let naysayers get you down. And this is probably a video that'll come up again and again for me, and it'll definitely be a part of my course. Like, don't let people naysay what you're doing. If you're being creative, you're already a winner. You're already a winner. And like, they've got their own issues. It's funny because Kenny's reading the book by Mel Robbins at the moment called Let Them. And I'm like, I haven't read it, so I don't actually know the concept, but I'm like, if they don't want to criticize you, let them. Because you're doing it, man. You're doing it. And like, it does not matter if you don't know jargon, which who cares about that anyway? Most of those words exist. So on set, people know what someone means when they say it, But I think if you're good at your job, you're going to clarify beyond just the term. Like, oh, so you're saying you want a mid shot, but like, is it kind of here or is it kind of here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to clarify, because otherwise they're going to be like, it's like that in Simpsons. There's an episode where Mr. Burns takes over being the manager of the Springfield baseball team. Or like maybe it's just the ones from his power plant, and they're going to verse another power plant. They have a big expensive bet. And so Mr. Burns like hires all these famous softball players, and he replaces all the people on the team, and the other one who doesn't get replaced is Homer, I think. And so Homer ends up, he's benched for ages, but he eventually gets to go up. But there's one guy in it, and like Mr. Burns keeps saying to him, he's like, hey, I can't remember the guy who it was, someone. He's like, get rid of those sideburns. I don't want those here. And he's like, okay, yeah, I don't have sideburns. He's like, get rid of them, And then he sees him again later. He's like, I thought I told you to get rid of those sideburns, And he's like, trimmed his hair or whatever. And he had no sideburns. And then later, Mr. Burns is like, he sees him again later. He's like, hey, don't even think about coming tomorrow if you don't get rid of those sideburns. He's like, what are you talking about? And then like the next time we see the character, he's like shaved this whole part of his head. Like so anywhere where there could be sideburns is shaved off. And he's like, you've still got those sideburns. You're out of the game. You know, he loses all his players, but he gets rid of this guy. And it's like, the guy never had sideburns. What does Mr. Burns think sideburns are? I still don't know. And neither does that guy. And so terminology, it serves a purpose. But again, people can use terminology like, you need to clarify. And like this guy could have just clarified like, it didn't need to be, he didn't need to be told he was delusional if he thought he could become a filmmaker, if he's going to say pan up. Like that's, yeah, it's just not cool. I don't know. Okay, that's it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about. I hope everyone's having a great day, and yeah, get out there and make a movie if you're thinking about it. We're in dead week, so if you got time, go make a movie. Have a go. See what you can do. You don't need to know anything. Just grab your phone, go try and tell a story with it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.